Look, 2025 is not the year to waste ammo or money. Prices have crept up on everything: ammo, range time, even the pistols themselves. But here's the upside: budget guns have leveled up. We're in an era where a few $100 can get you a pistol that runs with the big dogs and sometimes even embarrasses them. Now more than ever, accuracy matters. With the price of brass going up, you're not burning through 500 rounds a weekend just to warm up. Every shot counts. And the more precise your handgun, the less you waste and the faster you improve. Whether you're CCWing something slim or showing off tight groups at 25 yards, an accurate gun saves time, money, and bragging rights. Manufacturers are paying attention too. Polymer striker-fired pistols now come optics-ready, tuned triggers are becoming standard, and even revolvers are getting performance upgrades. We're in the golden age of affordable precision, and this list is proof. They're not just good for the money, they're too good for the money. If precision had a personality, it'd be the CZ Shadow 2 OR. This isn't just a good pistol, it's a full-blown overachiever in steel and sights. The OR stands for optics ready, but it might as well stand for outrageously refined, built for competition, tuned for control, and styled like it means business. The Shadow 2 OR gives you top-tier accuracy at a price that still undercuts half the tuned 2011s out there. You're looking at an all-steel frame, a 4.89-inch cold hammer-forged barrel, and a slide that rides inside the frame rails, not your standard setup. That internal slide design gives it a lower bore axis, which translates into almost zero muzzle flip. It's the kind of pistol where you don't fight recoil, you just ride it out and watch the sights fall back into place like magic. The trigger is all business. In single action mode, it breaks clean at about 3.75 pounds with minimal take-up and a reset that's practically telepathic. Even the double action pull is buttery smooth. It's like CZ said, "Hey, why not make every part of this gun feel like it cost more? Add in fiber optic sights, aggressive grip checkering, a flared magwell, and factory optics plates. And you've got a precision machine that's begging to be run fast and hard." If there's a pistol on this list that makes you feel like you're cheating at the range, it's the Sig P210 target. This thing isn't just accurate, it's surgical, built with old-school Swiss precision and modern American manufacturing. The P210 target is what happens when a company decides to flex and make a handgun that absolutely refuses to miss. We're talking about a 5-inch carbon steel barrel, carbon steel frame, carbon steel slide, all hand-fitted tighter than your favorite jeans after Thanksgiving. The slide doesn't ride on the frame like most pistols. Nope, it rides inside the rails. That design minimizes lateral movement and gives you an incredibly smooth, consistent return to battery. Translation? The sights land in the exact same spot after every single shot. Like clockwork. The trigger is clean, crisp, and glass rod smooth, breaking right around 4 pounds. You won't find any grit, no creep, and definitely no excuses. You squeeze, it breaks. The bullet goes exactly where you want it. And those beautiful target-style wood grips aren't just for show. They raise your grip into the bore axis and give you total control over this all-steel masterpiece. The P210 isn't just accurate for the money, it's one of the most accurate ever. It doesn't matter what you've shot before, this one will ruin your standards in the best way. This one's for the folks who want a pistol that's built like it's going to war, but shoots like it's headed to a match. Meet the FN509cc Edge XL. It's rugged, it's mean, and it's way more accurate than a striker-fired pistol has any right to be. FN's been serving up guns to military and law enforcement for decades, but with the 509cc Edge XL, they gave the people what we really wanted: competition-level accuracy wrapped in a battlefield-ready package. You get a cold hammer-forged 4.7-inch barrel with a recessed crown, slide lightning cuts for faster cycling, and a compensator that actually works. Not just a cosmetic add-on, this thing keeps your muzzle down and your sights on target when you're running hotter 124 grain loads. Then there's the trigger. FN gave this bad boy a flat-faced trigger with a crisp break and a short reset that feels way too good for a combat-style pistol. In gloves or bare hands, that break is predictable and snappy. Follow-up shots feel automatic. add in their no tools required optics mounting system. Seriously, no adapter plates needed, and you've got a turnkey setup for red dot shooting straight out of the box. Street price? Around $2,100. Not exactly budget tier. But when you consider how it performs, it's still punching above its weight. It shoots tight, tracks fast, and takes a beating without ever falling out of zero. The 509cc Edge XL is what happens when FN builds something for shooters who actually shoot. The HK VP9 Match feels like what happens when HK's engineers finally got the green light to build something just for fun and accidentally made one of the best shooting striker-fired pistols on the market. HK is known for building duty weapons that prioritize reliability over flash. But this is a flex, a subtle, precision-engineered, we don't miss kind of flex. First off, the barrel. It's a 5.5-inch cold, hammer-forged monster with polygonal rifling that just grips the bullet differently. Combine that with the longer slide and weight-balancing lightning cuts, and you've got a pistol that doesn't so much recoil as it nods at you after each shot. Smooth, flat, controlled. The VP9 Match doesn't bounce. It returns. Trigger control is where things get interesting. It's clean. No grit, just a gentle press, a crisp break, and a reset that's short enough to feel like HK's quietly competing with match-grade guns on the side. The modular grip system deserves more hype, too, because once you get this pistol dialed into your hand, it points like it's reading your mind. Toss a Holosun on the optics ready slide, and you've got a range rig that runs like a comp gun, but with HK's signature no-nonsense reliability. Whether you're doing drills, hammering steel, or shooting groups at 25 yards, the VP9 Match holds up, and then some. The Koenig TTI Combat is what happens when one of the best bang-for-your-buck brands partners with the godfather of fast shooting, Taran Tactical. You know him. You've seen the John Wick films. And yep, this is the pistol built for folks who want that kind of performance without emptying their savings account. From the jump, this gun feels tuned. It's got a 4.6-inch fluted, match-grade barrel with a recessed target crown that locks up tighter than a vault. You get that this thing's about to do something special feeling before you even pull the trigger. And when you do, that flat-faced trigger breaks clean, with a reset that's stupid short. It rides like a race gun, and your splits start getting suspiciously faster. What makes the TTI Combat stand out isn't just speed, it's consistency. The recoil impulse is straight-line smooth thanks to a tungsten-weighted backstrap that plants the gun in your hand like it's been magnetized. Slide cuts are aggressive and functional, not just showy. Every edge, every texture, every contour is purpose-built. The optic-ready slide supports direct mounting, which means no plate stack nightmares. I ran it with a Trijicon RMR, and it held zero through rapid fire, transitions, and some good old dirt and dust. Even the fiber optic front sight is tuned for clarity in the chaos. It doesn't just shoot better than it should. It shoots better than some guns costing twice as much. TTI and Koenig didn't just make a pistol, they made a statement. You think you know the Beretta 92 platform, military-issued, Hollywood-famous, reliable as a tax bill. But the Beretta 92X Performance is not your grandpa's M9. This thing is a whole different animal, tuned for competition and engineered to shoot flat, fast, and frighteningly tight. Let's start with the frame. It's all steel and all serious, 47 ounces of weight that soaks up recoil like a sponge. That weight isn't just there to look good on paper. It keeps the gun balanced, muzzle flat, and returning to target like it's on rails. The Brigadier slide and Vertec frame combo shifts the balance forward, giving it a laser tracking feel during transitions. The trigger? Oh yeah, it's money. Beretta's Extreme S system gives you a double-action pull that's smooth and deliberate. But the single-action brake? Crisp, clean, about 3.5 pounds, and matched with a reset that feels like a click of intention. It doesn't beg to be babied. It dares you to shoot faster. The fiber optic front sight grabs your eye immediately, and the frame-mounted safety lets you run a high 1911-style grip for extra control, something you don't get on your average 92. The grips are aggressive, but won't chew your hands up, even after a full match day or extended range sessions. If the regular 92 is a dependable truck, the 92X Performance is the race-tuned track version with the limiter pulled. Trust me, this one moves, If you've ever pulled the trigger on a Walther PDP, you probably had the same reaction I did. Wait, this is stock? Because this thing feels like it's already had a trigger job, grip stippling, slide work, and a tune-up, straight out of the box. Walther's always been known for ergonomics. But the PDP takes that rep and straps a jetpack to it. It's available in several sizes, but the 4.5-inch model hits that perfect middle ground. Enough barrel for sight radius and velocity, not so much that it feels bulky. The grip texture? Grippy but not obnoxious. The super terrain slide serrations? They work. Gloved hands, sweaty hands, doesn't matter. You're not slipping. The real showstopper, though, is the trigger. Walther calls it the performance duty trigger, and it's probably the best striker-fired trigger I've felt from the factory. There's a solid wall, a crisp break, and a reset so loud and short you could almost count it as a second shot. That translates into real-world performance. Faster splits, tighter groups, and less oops when you're rushing drills. Add in the fact that it's optics ready, and Walther even sends you the adapter plate for free, and you're looking at a pistol built to evolve with you. Whether you're a new shooter or someone chasing that sub-2-second build drill, the PDP makes you feel dialed in. It's a gun that feels like it wants you to win. And hey, who doesn't want that in their holster? Let's be honest, Stuger isn't a name that makes people gather around at the gun counter, but maybe it should be. Because the STR9 is one of those pistols that quietly over-delivers in every category: accuracy, reliability, and sheer shootability, without needing a flashy name or a fat price tag. From the moment you pick it up, the STR9 feels right. It's got a natural point of aim, thanks to its grip angle and undercut trigger guard. The frame is polymer, but it doesn't feel hollow or cheap. The stippling gives you solid traction without being sandpaper on your palm aggressive, and the beaver tail keeps your hand high and steady. The 4.17-inch barrel balances the pistol nicely for both carry and control. When it comes to recoil, the STR9 is soft shooting, with a slide that tracks smoothly and returns quickly. And that trigger? Honestly surprising. It's got a bit of take-up, but the break is clean, and the reset is short enough to keep your follow-up shots snappy and on target. It also packs in some higher-end features you don't expect at this level: integrated trigger safety, interchangeable backstraps, tactical rail, and a last-shot hold-open slide. It's not just accurate for the money, it's accurate, period. This pistol doesn't beg for attention. It earns respect the old-school way, by performing. The STR9 is a workhorse with just enough polish to run with the thoroughbreds. Call it a sleeper, call it a bargain, but don't call it basic. Everyone's heard of the Taurus G3C, usually followed by some version of, "It's decent for the price." But here's the deal. This compact 9mm doesn't just meet expectations, it sucker punches them. And in terms of accuracy for the dollar, this thing is criminally underrated. Right out the gate, the G3C is built to be carried. It's compact, lightweight, and easy to conceal. But don't let the size fool you. It handles recoil like a much larger pistol. The grip has just enough texture to lock into your hand without chewing it up, and the controls are simple, tactile, and reliable. You're getting a 12-round capacity in a frame that disappears under a t-shirt, which is a solid sweet spot for everyday carry. Now let's talk trigger. It's a double-action striker system with a restrike capability, which means if a round fails to fire, you can pull the trigger again without racking the slide. The break is clean, and while the reset isn't competition short, it's more than quick enough for controlled pairs and follow-ups. And yes, this little budget blaster can group. We're talking 2 to 3-inch clusters at 10 yards all day with quality ammo. That's nothing to shrug off, especially in a pistol you could buy with what's in your glove box. The G3C proves you don't need to spend big to shoot straight. Whether you're new to guns or just want a no-nonsense EDC that won't flinch under pressure, this little beast has your back. In a lineup full of striker-fired polymers and optics-ready slides, the Taurus 856 walks in with 6 chambers and 0 apologies. This .38 Special revolver might look like your granddad's backup gun, but don't let the old-school vibe fool you. The 856 is tighter, cleaner, and way more shootable than it has any right to be. Here's the first surprise. It's a 6-shot revolver. Most snubbies give you 5 and send you on your way. That extra round might not seem like much, but in a defensive situation, it's a welcome bonus. Then there's the Defender model with the 3-inch barrel. That extra inch makes a world of difference. Better sight radius, higher velocity, and noticeably reduced recoil compared to the snubbiest of snubs. The grip is slightly enlarged compared to traditional compact revolvers, which helps control muzzle rise and actually makes it fun to shoot. The trigger's double-action pull is smooth and deliberate, and the single-action brake is surprisingly crisp. For those who want revolver simplicity without sacrificing shootability, the 856 delivers accuracy, dead serious. Offhand groups at 10 yards are tighter than most folks expect out of a wheel gun this size. The fixed sights are old school, but intuitive, and once you're locked in, the 856 just lands rounds where they're supposed to go. Whether you're running it for deep carry, glove box duty, or just old-fashioned range fun, the Taurus 856 shoots like a revolver twice the price. Classic looks, modern comfort, and legit accuracy? Yeah, this one's earned its spot. The Konig TP9SF is like that quiet guy at the range who outshoots everybody and then just packs up and leaves. No flash, no flex, just business. This full-size 9mm pistol has been a best-kept secret in budget-friendly precision, and if you've ever put rounds through one, you already know it punches way above its pay grade. Start with the ergonomics. It fits in the hand better than some pistols twice the price. The grip texture is aggressive enough to matter, but won't chew your hands to ribbons. Controls are ambidextrous and crisp, the slide is easy to rack, and the bore axis is low. That means flatter shooting, less muzzle rise, and faster follow-ups right out of the gate. The real showpiece, though, is the trigger. For a striker-fired pistol in this class, it's borderline absurd. There's a light take-up, a solid wall, a clean break, and a short, tactile reset. It almost feels like cheating on drills. Recoil control is helped along by a smart recoil spring setup and that full-size frame soaking up just enough snap to keep you planted. Accuracy-wise, the TP9SF delivers. Whether it's grouping tight at 25 yards or just drilling steel from draw, this thing runs clean and consistent. It's optics ready, tough as nails, and rugged enough for home defense, duty use, or just range domination. Konig built a pistol that does everything right and forgot to charge extra for it. And that, my friend, is why the TP9SF is sitting pretty at number 3. The SAR-9 doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't have wild slide cuts or tungsten weights or a fancy logo that doubles as a bragging right. But what it does have is one of the most underrated shooting experiences in the game, and once you've run it, you'll wonder how this Turkish-made tack driver stayed under the radar for so long. Let's start with the feel. The SAR-9's ergonomics are surprisingly refined, on par with the best of them. It comes with 3 interchangeable back straps so you can dial in the grip to your hand, and once you do, the whole thing locks in like it was made for you. The frame texture is solid, and the controls are smartly placed and easy to manipulate. The trigger? Not flashy, but smooth, predictable, and that matters when you're stacking rounds. Add in a low-bore axis, and you've got a pistol that stays flat, tracks well, and delivers tight groups with ease, even under speed. But here's what really makes the SAR-9 special: durability. This thing was torture tested at the factory with 150,000 rounds. That's not a typo. It's been run into the ground and asked for more. And through it all, it's kept that smooth cycling and solid accuracy. The SAR-9 doesn't try to be a budget Glock or a poor man's Walther. It's its own thing, and it's legit. Dependable, shootable, and stupidly accurate for what it is. A quiet contender that just might outshoot your favorite. At first glance, the SDK-100 looks like your standard striker fire duty pistol, but then you shoot it, and suddenly you're asking, why does this thing feel like a tuned metal-framed dream gun? That's the magic here. It's a pistol that delivers performance levels that just don't make sense for what it is. Let's start with the frame. This bad boy is built with an aluminum grip module, which adds just the right amount of heft to tame recoil and keep you locked in for fast follow-ups. Combined with a 17+1 round capacity and a full-sized profile, it manages to stay incredibly balanced in the hand, comfortable for both long-range sessions and daily carry. The 1911 style textured grip provides excellent control, and the beaver tail gives your hand a natural seat high into the bore axis. That means less flip, tighter groups, and better rhythm when you're pushing speed. The SDK 100 also comes optics ready, so if you're running red dots, you're covered right out of the box. What truly seals the deal, though, is how this pistol feels when you shoot it. The recoil impulse is soft, the cycling is smooth, and the groups, they're tighter than they have any business being. It's one of those guns that just seems to want to shoot straight. The SDK 100 isn't just an impressive performer, it's the sleeper champ of 2025. If you're looking for something that feels premium without the premium markup, this is the one that over-delivers hardest. In a world where ammo ain't cheap and gimmicks are everywhere, these 13 handguns prove one thing. Real performance doesn't have to come with a ridiculous price tag. Whether you're a first-timer or a full-blown range junkie, every pistol on this list brings accuracy, control, and shootability way above what you'd expect. These aren't just good for the money, they're just plain good. And when it comes to tight groups and confident shooting, that's what really counts. Which one of these would you trust with your last mag? Drop your pick in the comments. And hey, if this list opened your eyes, give it a like, sub, and share it with your range crew.